time and space. It's very comforting to me. I'm glad we're singing it.
Is the mic? It should be on the mic.
Yeah, it is. It is. I checked it.
Okay.
It's an integrated part, so we're not stealing culture. Cannot be.
So,
So how'd you guys do per night?
oh, it was good.
Loads of fun.
Oh, good.
Loads of fun.
I mean, it's not going to be as much fun as the play, but
People read with some flair.
yeah, wow. So was there a theme to how people dressed up, or that was random?
It was random.
We had
I just wore a hat.
ours was called Bedtime at Bethel, and so online I found a onesie
Oh no.
that had looked like a tuxedo.
Oh, how fun.
So I will show you my embarrassing picture.
I want a picture.
Right? You gotta see that?
Oh,
This is-
that's great.
This is certainly something that I could be blackmailed with, but and so either you came as the like a teddy bear, because that's part of bedtime. A lot of people just put on robes over their sweats. But I got into one of my kids found something online. They said, "Oh, I really want you to have this." So, of course, they didn't buy it for me. They just said, "I want you to go ahead and buy this." So,
Oh, this is something to look forward to later.
Yeah.
at the end of services,
Yeah.
to see me in my onesie.
Can't wait.
Well,
Saul grew hair.
what?
Saul grew hair.
Saul grew hair.
Yeah. Has
Tell me about that.
beautiful golden locks.
Oh my goodness.
And we're not talking big.
Tell you what, how about we get started on page 61?
Sounds good.
Modeh ani lefanecha melechai lekayam. Modeh ani lefanecha melechai lekayam. Modeh ani lefanecha modeh ani bottom paragraph. Matahofu Alecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Matahofu Alecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Last three lines on the left-hand side in English. May this be an auspicious time, Adonai, for my prayer. Your love, O God, is great. Answer me with your true deliverance. So I haven't made the bracha on my talit yet, so in the middle of page 62, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef b'tzitzit. Page 63, second paragraph. Elohai neshama shenatzata b'tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatzata b'tehorahi. 65. Either answer Amen or say with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, enabling us to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, making me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, making me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, making me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, giving sight to the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, clothing the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, releasing the bound. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, raising the downtrodden. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, creating the heavens and the earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, providing for all my needs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, guiding us on our path. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, strengthen the people of Israel with courage. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, crown the people of Israel with glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, restoring vigor to the weary. Last 5 lines on the left-hand English side. May we find grace, love, and compassion in your sight, in the sight of all who look upon us this day and every day. Grant us a full measure of loving kindness. Praise to you, Adonai, who bestows loving kindness upon God's people, Israel. So we're at Baruch She'amar on page 83. Baruch She'amar, v'hayolam Baruch Hu, Baruch Osev Reishis, Baruch Omev Yosef, Baruch Osev V'chaim, Baruch Merachim al Ores, Baruch Merachim al Habriot, Baruch Mishalim Sachar Tov Li'Re'ah, Baruch Chaylo Ad V'chaim L'Netzach, Baruch Hodeh U'Matzil, Baruch She'amar. Yachid Chei Ha'olamim, Melech Meshubach U'Mefoar, Adayat Shemo HaGadol, Baruch atah Adonai, Melech Megulal, Vatishbachot. On page 85, the last 4 Hebrew lines. Remember, Adonai Le'adon Rak Love Kadoshu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'ishtachavu, Le'har Kadsho, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Middle of page 86. Hoshia et Amecha, Uvarech et Nachalatecha, Ureim v'nasei ad ha'olam, Hoshia et Amecha, Uvarech et Nachalatecha, Ureim v'nasei ad ha'olam. I have indeed trusted in your love. May I rejoice in your saving power. I will sing to Adonai, for God has been bountiful to me. On page 88, no, page 87. I always do that. Skip over 87. I won't do that this time. We're going to go towards Torah Hashem Tamima, just about the middle of the page. Torah Adonai Tamima, Torah Adonai Tamima, Torah Adonai Tamima, Meshivat Nafesh, Eidut Adonai Page 92. 2 lines. Noting lechem b'kol basar ki le'olam chasdom. Page 94. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat Ho Lehodo L'Adonai U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon L'Hagid B'Boker Hazdecha V'Emunah Tivrav Aleilon Alei Asor V'Alei Navel Alei Hikayom V'Chinor Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot L'Adonai U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Simachani Adonai b'falecha b'masei yodecha v'aranei magadlu masecha v'adonai v'yadam ku machshavotecha mizmor shir liyom HaShabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Bottom 6 lines of the page. Tzadikata Yifra Di Eretz Bavana Yizkeh Shebzuli Bebeis Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafriku Od Yenuvun V'Seifa Tishenim V'Rananim Yehu Lehakiu Yashar Adonai Suri V'lo Avosamo. On page 96, the Ashrei. We'll do it responsively for those 5 lines. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yalucha Sela
Ashrei Ha'am Shekoch Ola, Ashrei Ha'am Shadonai Eloheinu.
Tehillah LeDavid Aram Mincha Elohai HaMelech Bavarcha Shemcha Li'olam Va'ed.
B'chol Yom Ha'votecha V'chol Shimcha Li'olam Va'ed.
Restore ourselves good and holy up in the Savior. Tov Adonai Lakol V'racham Al Kol Ma'aseh Machucha Machut Kol Olami Lumem Shaltecha B'chol Dor V'Dor. You open your hand, your favor sustains all the living. Tehillat Adonai Yidaber Pi V'Yivarech Kol Basar Shekadsho Li'olam Va'ed. V'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah. Bottom of 99, last 5 lines. Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ki Nifno Shemo Levado, Hodo Alerex, the Shammai. God never rests. Ilufinu Maleshira Yamushani Nagamanatu. The bottom paragraph on the English side of 104. From Egypt you redeemed us, from the house of bondage you delivered us, in famine you nourished us, in prosperity you sustained us, you rescued us from the sword, protected us from pestilence, and saved us from severe and lingering disease. To this day your compassion has sustained us, your kindness has not forsaken us, never abandon us, Adonai our God. 105. Kenei Bar Shikalak the Banu, Baruch and the Shamash and the Fakta Baptine. Matzilani Mechazak, Nalecha and the Shabecha and the Foercha, and the Barech, Hashem Katshecha, Amur David, Barchi Nafshe Sadanai, the Chol Kiravai, et Shem Katshao, Hoel Betatumot, Uzecha, Gadol Befoshemecha, Hakibur Lanetzach, Vanara Benorotecha, Hamelech Hayoshe, Akise Ram Yisah, Shohei Amarom, Vekadosh Shemo, Vechadurana Zediga Vanelisha Navativa, Vifishar Tit Halal, Yivzirek Sadikim Tit Barah, Vivasham Chassidim Tit Ramam, Vivikerev Kedoshim Tit Kadash, Uvamakalot, Rivavot, Amchavei Yisroel. Al Kol Direi Shirot V'Tishbechot, David ben Yishai, Avdecha Meshichecha, Yishtavach Shimcha, Load Malkeinu, Shir Ushmachal Zimros Mamshal Nesakidullah Gvura, Tehila V'Tiferet, Kedusha U'Malchut, Birachot, V'Hodaot, Ve'atavi Ad Olam Baruch Ato Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El HaHodaot, Adon HaNiflaot, Haboker V'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei HaOlamim. 107, lines 3 and 4, we say it together in the Hebrew, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Yotzer Or, Uvorei Koshech, Oseh Shalom, Uvorei Etz HaKol, HaKol Yaducha, HaKol Yishachucha. Adonai Navi Olam Hazeh, Vinzulatcha Makeinu L'chai Olam Haba, Efes V'Techa Go'aleinu Limot HaMashiach, Neidamu L'cha Moshiachenu, L'tchiyat HaMeitim. Went away. Hail. Adon Al HaMasim Baruch, Baruch B'fi Kol Neshama, Gadlo B'tuvo, Kol Tzivamo Shabbat Nikol HaMasim, to God who completed the work of His creation on the seventh day. Tiferet Shel Yom HaMenucha Oneg Kara L'Yom HaShabbat. Shabbat Tiparach Moshiach Shabbat Maseh Yadecha V'Marosha Sita Yifarbu Kaseva. Page 110. Tiparach Tzureinu Makenu V'Go Aleinu V'Horei Kedoshim. Tiparach Tzureinu Makenu V'Go Aleinu V'Horei Kedoshim. Kulam ahuvim, kulam verurim, kulam giborim. V'cholam osavim avir ratzam konaim. V'cholam pokim epihem mikdusha v'torah v'shur v'zimra v'vorchim v'meshapim v'foarim. Maritzim v'makdishim v'mamlichim. Et shem hoel v'melech v'melech gibar v'norah k'yoshu. V'cholam v'kablim aleim ol machut shamayim zeh mizeh v'nodri reshut zeh lazeh. Agishiyot Ramiyat Nachat Ruach Yisaf Aburavani Makidosha Kon Kecharonim Yamrin B'Yira Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvaot V'lo Kol Ha'aretz Kiva'oto V'afan V'kad HaKadosh B'rash Gadol Miznasim Limat Serafim L'matam Mishapim V'Yamrim V'arot Kivar Adonai Mimcha. Baruch Nimo Yiteinu L'Melech El Chai V'Kayam Smirot Yomeru Tishbachot Yashmiyu Kihu Levado Hapel Kivurot Oseh Kadashot Bal Milchamot Zorat Tehilot Adon Hamifo. I got it wrong here, I don't know. Hamakadesh B'tu Fobechol Yom Tamid Masay Bereshi Ka'amur Liosei Orin Kitalim Tili Olam Chasdo Or Chadash Al Ta'ir V'nizker Kulanu Mehera Li'ora Baruch Ata Adonai Yotzer Hamiyoros. What's the Avarabah? There's Saul's Rabbah Ahavtanu Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Ahava Talmud Karatecha B'Ava V'Ho Ereneinu B'Toratecha V'Dabek Libeinu B'Mitzvotecha V'Yached Levaveinu Li'ava U'Yira Et Shemecha Le'olam v'yachecha v'yava. Baruch atah Adonai, Avochem Amo Yisrael v'yava. Mitzvah v'yamelech neman, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'chayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mesavcha hayom al levecha v'shinanta levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha v'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shalpecha u'v'kumecha u'shartam liot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharech v'hayu shemot yishmot z'v'sharech Pen yiftel l'vatchem v'sartem v'avadatem Espenechem l'daver v'shifto v'secha v'achlo v'dero shak v'yimeh Yimei Hashem yimal v'amrez V'asasir rechel v'afenechem v'shartem Sherot Seisi, it's not your subscribe. Ani Adonai Elohecha Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lachem Le'elokim Ani Adonai Elohecha Emet Yatsev V'nachon V'kayim V'yashon. We're in the middle of page 113. L'dar v'dar hu kayam v'shmo kayam v'yisan nachal machikav v'natov l'vad kayam v'ed v'davar kayam v'kayam v'nachal al v'rishonim v'al v'achronim. Bottom 4 lines of 113. Emet shatahu Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Malkeinu Melech Avotenu Avotenu Go Aleinu Go El Avotenu Yosreinu Sur Yeshuatenu Hodenu Matzileinu Me'olam Shemecha Ein Elohim Zulaser 114, that's right, happy is the one who obeys your mitzvot, who takes to heart the words of your Torah. Ram v'nisa gadol v'noram mashpil geim u'mavi ashefal le'im motzi asir u'foden of v'yoser ta'alim v'yon eliyam Yisroel v'yetshavam elam tilot me'eliyam rachu barach Moshe v'Yisroel chanu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru ulam Malcha Roelim Adonai Micha Malcha Netavak Kodesh Noras Tehilot Al Sefer Sasayam, Yakakumalo Milakobi Amru, Anagan, Yimlo, Leolam, Vahe, Sur Yisrael, Kumabi Ezrat Yisrael, Bofei Finuvel, Yehuda Yisrael, Galeinu Adonai Zvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai Goal Yisrael. So I'll meet on page 115b, but I also would like to recommend to you page 121, the meditation on the Amida for Shabbat. Page 117, Yismach Moshe. Yismach Moshe b'matnat, Yismach Moshe b'matnat, Yismach Moshe b'matnat, b'matnat elko, ki eved neman, ki eved neman, Zalo, Kali, Tiferet. Moshe b'manas.
Yismach Moshe b'manas. Yismach Moshe b'manas. B'manas Elko.
B'yamdo lefanecha.
B'yamdo lefanecha.
Al har Sinai. U'shnei lechot avanim. Horid b'yado.
Yismach Moshe b'manas. Yismach Moshe b'manas. Yismach Moshe b'manas. B'manas Elko.
V'chatu bahem.
B'chasu bahem.
Shemirat Shabbat.
Lechein Katsuv.
Lechein Katsuv.
V'torah secha.
Yismach Moshe b'manas. Yismach Moshe b'manas. Yismach Moshe b'manas. B'manas Elko. B'shameru b'nei Yisrael. Es Tashavat.
Lasos es Tashat. Dorot Samerit Olam. Bein b'nei Yisrael.
Olam. Ishe
Et Hashamayim v'yet ha'aretz. Uvayom hashvi'i. Uvayom hashvi'i. Shabbat. 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 So, Bonnie, I think you're going to do the modem on bottom of 118.
Okay. Oh,
From here, from there, from your seat,
I'm fine.
project.
All right, we'll do our best. Modi Malach Ruach.
Modi
Malach Ruach. We thank you, God, for all your gifts. Modi Malach Ruach. Modi Malach Ruach. Modi Malach Ruach. We thank you, God, for all your gifts. Modi Malach Ruach.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Oh, thank you.
All right. I hope this wind isn't scaring people away.
Good.
They may be shuled out after Purim.
Really?
No,
They're shoved out. I get hit, right?
We expect two
no,
more.
no, it's not you.
Who might you be expecting?
Steve and Cindy.
Steve and Cindy? That would probably be enough, I guess.
Yep.
But nobody else that you could think of.
You never know, but no one that called and said they're coming like Cindy did.
Okay.
So, you want to go to the study?
Can we talk about the Cedra?
So we will in a moment. I just want to make a little progress. One paragraph of Pirkei Avot.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember, every paragraph you move forward, we get closer to our Siyum, the party that I'm going to fund for having studied a body of work and completed it. Siyum means to complete.
That's
You know,
great.
you start all over, but
Well, we'll find something else to study, but all right. So we're on page 266.
Okay.
266. Oh, we have a long time. Your father will not come so late.
I'm sorry.
I say we have a lot to study. Your party will not come so quick. Maybe next winter.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know, but you got to hang in there. All right. So we're in this. I just want to remind you that we're in some sayings from Rabbi Akiva. We certainly know Rabbi Akiva was of all these rabbis that you see. Let's look at some of his competitors. 14, Rabbi Dosa ben Hyrcanus. Don't know him very well. Rabbi Elazar, Hamodia, Rabbi Yishmael maybe a little bit more, but Rabbi Akiva everybody knows. And so basically we studied this last time that humans are beloved, they're created in the image of God, and then Israel is beloved because they're called God's children. We all are born with a little drop of royalty in us, in a sense. And noblesse oblige, we expect more of people who have that nobility. But you can find your way to a good outcome. Are you going to be judged as a good person or not? You're already halfway there, and so as long as you don't mess it up, then it says, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek li'olam haba. The whole Pirkei Avot starts with a saying that, if you look at page 257, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek li'olam haba. All Israel has a portion in the world to come. All you have to do is don't mess it up. If you just live a halfway decent life, you're going to get a piece of the world to come. That's a great deal. You already started out with a thumb on the scale in your favor. All you have to do is make sure that you don't mess it up. So. Final set of sayings of Rabbi Akiva are on page 267. Simon, would you read number 19?
Everything is foreseen, yet freedom of choice is granted. The world is judged favorably, and all depends on the preponderance of good deeds.
Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? Everything is foreseen, but freedom of choice is granted. How do you reconcile that? If everything is preordained, if I, what does that mean? That
The Almighty realizes if we choose A, where it's going to go. If we choose B, where it's going to go. He knows what our choices are. But He gives us the choices. And He knows where it's going to end up, where it's going to lead.
But does that mean that I can't vary from the script? He's got the script. I mean, if I end up, robbing a bank, I'll say it was It's in the script.
But foreseen
Shows
doesn't mean preordained. It simply means, which is in a way what Simon was saying.
And any other thoughts on this?
Well, I sort of see foreseen as sort of everything is kind of laid out there, but that
Yeah.
makes it like you're at the buffet and then you get to choose.
So there's potential and there's also free will.
So one of the authors that that I read on this is a psychiatrist, Ron Pies, and he loves Pirkei Avot. He's got some books on this, and so one of his books, he quotes a therapist, as he might. Habits predispose us to foregone conclusions, but we can control our habits. Psychotherapy could not occur without the presumption that people are capable of modifying their behavior, and to this extent, they have free will. So that's one way of looking at it, that you are allowed to modify, in a sense. But the other part of it, it says, the world is judged favorably, but yet all depends on the preponderance of good deeds. So basically, it's very important as to how often you do a mitzvah, how often you do a good deed, because the weights are put on the good part of the scale every time you do the mitzvah. So you say, yeah, I did a mitzvah, I went to services last month. Gotta go every month. I mean, it's every time you go, you get another weight on the scale in your favor. So that's why they talk about the preponderance of good deeds. Sometimes we say, well, I did a big mitzvah last month. Maybe that'll carry me through. But Pirkei Avot says, don't decide what is a big mitzvah and a small mitzvah. All mitzvahs count, and just coming in and coming to services counts a lot. That's why I'm always a little sad that when I'm here for weekday services, that I rarely see anybody go and put something into the pushka. I mean, it's always been forgotten. Can't of course do it on Shabbat, but it seems to be forgotten. Whereas at other synagogues that I go to, there's people can't help but throw a quarter into the pushka, and so now you've got a mitzvah of davening, and you've got a mitzvah of charity. And what's that quarter going to do? With compound interest, it could be 48 cents by the time you're retired. But it's a nothing. You won't miss it. But now you've got the mitzvah of tzedakah. So look for small mitzvahs too.
I never would have thought of that. I don't know where I came from. I never would have thought that coming to services during the week that would be something to do.
Can you talk so in the back we can hear you?
Yeah, sorry. I was saying that I never thought about if you came to services during the week, putting something into pushka,
because it's not tradition. We never talk about this.
Okay.
We talk about this and put it that you can see this, and will be something in the bulletin written about this. So then thing will be, and if you tell where is the money going to, not into the synagogue pushka, into some kind of mitzvah.
When Rabbi Rudolph was here, he would pass it, and it went to Magen
David, the Red Cross of the Red Magen David, the equivalent of Red Cross for Israel.
Right. And I think that would be great. We should reintroduce it.
yeah, I never thought about it.
Okay. It's such an easy mitzvah.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue with just a few words from Ron Pies.
Can I ask you something? Did you say I just finished the book on Rabbi Akiva, but I still cannot figure him out. He was a very peculiar character, and I just say something, maybe things will get better. He
came to I think he was a petty thief for some of his life.
He lived in a cave.
That's true.
That at age 40 he turned his life around, and so that's, you know, it's one of those, it's never too late.
When was he?
When?
Yes.
I would say 2,000 years ago.
How about you?
I'll tell you the date when I look at the book back.
Okay. Good. In the book report we'll have that.
During the Bar Kokhba rebellion.
Yeah,
He's put to death during
yes,
the Bar
yeah.
Kokhba
Yeah.
revolution.
Burned at the
So,
So
stake.
in 135
Unfortunately, he's
of the common era.
unfortunately on Yom Kippur he's one of the martyrs that we
Yeah.
that we. So I just went. So lest you think that I've memorized all of Christianity and Islam too, this is all from Dr. Pies. He's got a Christian quote that he likes. All is not lost. However often you feel tempted or sorely troubled, you're a man, not God, a human, not an angel. How can you expect to remain always in a constant state of virtue? So it just basically says, don't be so harsh on yourself. Doesn't mean go out and do something stupid, but it says if you've done something stupid, everything's not done and it's all over with. And he even found something in the Quran. For those who shun heinous sins and abominations, occasional faults notwithstanding, your Lord has a wide forgiveness. So other faiths have this particular thought. All right, Torah service time. I just got to say the Kaddish, and Steve will come up and do the Torah service. So, Kaddish Shalem is on page 138. Yes, Shalom Aleinu, V'Akol Yisrael, V'Yamru. As Steve comes forward, we're on page 139 for the Torah service.
Ein kamoka ve'elohim Adonai, v'ein kamasecha. Malchus Malchus Kohanim, U'mekatekav v'chol tov ador, Adonai melech, Adonai mo'od, Adonai imchol ve'olam mo'ed, Adonai oz v'yamo yitain, Adonai time.
A Hasidic teaching. We build a house in order to live in it. Until we live in it, it's not really a home. So too, it is with creation. God formed the world in 6 days, but on Shabbat, God came to dwell within it. And on each Shabbat, the world once again becomes God's home. And I said, I'm taking a walk, but I can hear it because I know this one pretty well. And he's muttering to himself, better show off, all right. But why do I know this one so well?
It's yours?
No.
Your bar mitzvah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No.
It's your favorite.
You know, it's number one, of course it gets done once a year, but number two, I think it's part of the Torah reading for any Shabbat in the middle of Passover or Sukkot, so it gets done extra times, and any fast day, other than Yom Kippur, any fast day, and I think it's read in the morning and in the afternoon, the Torah readings. I know we don't celebrate fast days in this in the synagogue as much as some other places do, but so it might get read 10 times a year. Very few others get this much exposure. And if you add it over my 55 years of Torah reading, you could look at it as potentially by having done 500 times or something of that in that number. So it just got beaten into my head there because it's just plain old repetition. So no, I don't know the whole Torah by heart, but but these few sentences are more familiar to me. V'yazor v'yagein v'yashir l'chol simbo v'nomar amen hakol hovu godel eno snu kavod laTorah.
Talmud Chana bat Chayasara v'David HaKohen.
Baruch shenatan Torah li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato v'atem adveikim v'Adonai Elohechem chayim kolchem hayom. Bonnie's wondering why does she have to hold this up here. All right.
Baruch es Adonai HaBarak. Baruch Adonai HaBarak le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'karbanu mikol hamim v'nasan lanu etz torso. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai Moshe Pesach lecha shnei luchos avanim karishonim v'chasafti al haluchos es hadvarim asher hayu haluchos harishonim asher shibarta v'heyei nachon baboker yalisa baboker ar Sinai v'nitzachta leisham al rosh har v'ish lo yaleh imach v'gam ish al yera b'chol hahar hamatzon v'abakar al yeru el mo ahar ahu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nasan lanu Torah sames v'hayei olam nitav b'soheinu. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
That should go on. Yamud Levi Shalom ben Zekiah v'Yitzchak HaLevi. And we're on page 541, verse 4.
Baruch hu Adonai HaBarak. Baruch Adonai HaBarak le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barka banu mikol hamim v'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Hayasol shenei lecha avonim karashanim V'rishko Moshe v'nishkim Moshe b'boker v'yel v'ya'al el chai Asher so Adonai Ato Ayikavado Shemeo Esabonim Ayad Vayered Vayish Adonai Danan Vetsoy Zetzel Emosam Sham Vayikra B'Shem Adonai Vayavad Adonai Tevei Vayikra Adonai Arakum V'Kanun Eretz Apayim Erech Apayim V'Rak Esed Emet Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah Emet Ikaye Olam Natan V'Jokenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
All right, so we are going to make an El Mole in memory of Avram ben Shmuel, your uncle Al Kofex.
Yes.
El Mole Rachamim Shoched Bavramim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachas Kafei Hashkina B'Maos Kedoshim Utarim Kizor Harakia Masirim Es Nishmas Abraham ben Shmuel Shalach Li Olamo B'Gan Eden Tehei Menuchato Ana Bala Rachamim Ashtirei B'Seser Kenofecha Li Olamim Utzror B'Tzrachayim Es Nishmaso Adonai Hu Nachalaso Yenuch B'Shalom HaMishkavo V'Nomar Amen.
Still stay
Yeah,
there.
you can stay. All right, so we're on 541 and we're at sentence 7.
Yamot Shlishi Vital
Vital Shalom.
Shalom Ben
Vashalei.
Mashalei
Rachalei.
Leah.
Rachalei.
She.
We're gonna have a party when I write this.
Anybody recognize what we're singing here? What could be sung out of this?
Well, we just did.
Adonai, Adonai,
Okay. All right. So now you know where it comes from.
Baruch Adonai Baruch.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai Leheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'Chavanu Mikol Ha'amim V'Nosan Lanu Es Toraso Baruch Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. No tzer chesed lo alafim, no say avon, v'fesha v'chata'ah, v'nakei lo yinakei, v'okei ravono v'osavonim, v'yavonei v'onim, ashileshim v'alriveim, v'yimaher Moshe, v'yikorartza v'yishtochu, v'yomer, inam atzosikein b'einecha, Adonai, go back page. Adonai, Yelach Adonai v'kirbeinu, Ki am kishay orefu v'salachta, Lavonenu l'chatoseinu u'nechaltanu, Vayomer, Hine anochi, Kares paris, Neged koamcha esen niflaos asher, Lamivru v'chol haaretz u'v'chol hagoyim, V'rachal oam, Asher ata v'kirbo, Es maseh Adonai ki no rahu, Asher ani oseh imah.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher nasan lanu Torah Nes V'chaim Olam V'tes V'cheinu Baruch Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Talmud Revi'i
Hinda bat Chana Vahershel.
Top of the page. That's the one.
It's quite now.
Baruch Hu Adonai Haorach, Baruch Adonai Haorach Elam Ha'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Shemar lecha eis asher nochi mitzacha hayom hineni goresh mipanecha es hamori v'hakdani v'hachitzi v'haprizi v'hachivi v'hayebusi Yishamer lecha pentikros bris liyoshev haaretz asher atava alecha peniel mokesh b'kirvecha ki yes mizbechazam titotsun yes masevasam tishaberun yes asherav tichrosun Ki lo sishtachaveli el acher, ki Adonai kana shemo el kanahu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tolcheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bonnie, do you want? Oh, no, Yamod Hamishi Bevel Ben Beryl Be'itke.
Well, that's good, because during that time that you're coming up, we're going to make a Mishaberach for all those who are ill. Mishaberach, Avotenu, Avram Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, who Yivarech, Yerape, Tachol, Sila, Bat Leah.
Robert Carlin, Deb Austin, Hal House.
Rhoda Jerry Cohen, Madeline Coney,
Mark Pepino.
Okay.
Does he take the time?
It's not.
Sarah Purdue.
I got very sore heels, that's my problem.
Shalom ben Shalom.
Shuffle.
Just to sort of let go your arm from it.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimolei Racham Aleihem. V'achzikam leposa, v'yishach lehem meher refuah shlem l'chol v'geram v'gidam, v'toch shachal Yisrael, refuah tanefesh, refuah taguf, Shabbat Himali Zoko, refuah krova lavo, ashtabala v'zman kariv, v'nomar. Amen. Chapter 543, at that sentence 15. Pentichrot Barik, let me find it here, right there.
For who has an Adonai Havarach? Baruch Adonai Havarach le'elam voed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bocha banu mikol olamim, v'nasam lanu es toraso, Baruch atah Adonai nosen Torah.
Amen. Pentikros Baris Lioshev, Aretz V'zanu, Acharei Eloheihem, V'zachule Eloheihem, V'kara Alecha, V'yachalta Mizivcha, V'lakachta Mibnosav, L'vonecha, V'zanu V'nosav, Acharei Eloheihen, V'iznu Esvonecha, Acharei Eloheihen, Elohei Masecha, V'sasecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nosan lanu toras emes v'chayei olam v'notar v'zocheinu Baruch atah Adonai nosen Torah.
Amen.
Talmud Shishi Rachel Bat Abraham Bazar.
So how do I know that this is a Torah reading for the Shabbat in the middle of Passover, in the middle of Sukkot? Because right now we're starting, we mentioned the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 holidays that you're supposed to go to the temple and offer a sacrifice. Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. There's no Shabbat in the middle of Shavuot, there's no middle of Shavuot, it's just a 2-day holiday. But Sukkot and the upcoming Passover have the middle days during it, and there could be a Shabbat, and then you don't do the next Torah reading, you suspend it and you read this. So, if Chag HaMatzot Tishmor is on page 543, sentence 18.
Orku et Adonai Hamvara. Baruch Olam Hamvara Le'olam Vayed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bakar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. Ve'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Es Chag HaMatzos Tishmor Shivas Yamim Tocha Al Matzos Asher Tzivisicha L'Moed Chodesh Aviv Ki v'Chodesh Aviv Yotzasa Mitzrayim O Peter Rechem Li L'Chol Miknecha Ki Zachar Peter Shor V'Seh U'Peter Chamar Tifdeh V'Seh Im Lo Sifteh Varafto, al b'korbanecha tifteh, v'lo yeirau panai reikam. Sheshes yamim tavod, v'yom hashvi'i tishbos, v'charishu v'katzir tishbos. V'katzir tishbos.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Hayei Olam Notahu Tuhenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Yamod Shvi'i Michael ben Noach v'Rachaleah.
Sentence 22. Amen. V'chag Shavuos taseh lecha v'kurei ketzir chitim v'chag ha'asif tekufas hashana shalosh pamim b'shana yeroeh kol zuchorcha es pnei Adonai Elohei Yisrael ki orishka yimi panecha v'rchachti es gvulecha lo yakvod ishes artzecha v'aloscha le'raos es pnei Adonai Elohecha shalosh pamim b'shana Shichat al chametz dam sivchi v'lo yolin laboker zevachak hapasach reishi isbikurei akmasecha tavi beis Adonai Elohecha lo sevashel gedi v'chalei mima.
Shirata,
Mordecai ben Pinchas.
Yamod Maftir Ba Mordechai ben Pinchas.
Okay, we go back to sentence 24. Ki orishka yemi panach.
We'll be efficient. Yamod Chagba Michael ben Noach the
If you're able to, you rise, and we need a
Tamod Galila. Shana?
Oh, sure. It's not. That's a dollar. HaKohen. There you go.
Hallelujah.
לכך טוב מצאתי לכם. תורתי אל תעזבו, את מעייני לעזים לה
This is the Parsha with the infamous golden calf. And that part of the story starts on page 529, which is a good place to start, because if you go back a few sentences to sentence 16 on the top of 529, what do you get? Sentence 16. The very famous Vishamra. So, if this wasn't an important parsha because of the golden calf, it's an important parsha because it has this, which we say every Shabbat. So, Al-Kain Beirach comes in another parsha. So, and the brachot, Baruch Atah Hashem Al-Kain Makom Baruch Regach, is nowhere in the 5 books. So, we don't have anything like that. So we're on the bottom of page 529, chapter 32. Vayar ha'am ki voshesh Moshe loredet min ha'ar. The people saw that Moses was late in coming down from the mountain. One of the explanations is that Moshe says, I'll see you in 40 days. And in the people's minds, they said, today's day 1. And in Moses' mind, today's day 0. Tomorrow's day 1. I'm still with you here part of this day. So when they hit 40 days, it was in Moses' count 39 days. He had one more day to study on the mountain of all the laws that God was trying to teach him. So he's still up there communing with God, getting taught by God all the laws of Judaism that he could absorb. And it's a very strange word. It needs to be...
I cannot talking, but they told us to do something.
All right, we'll blame it on Jacqueline for distracting you. We're on the bottom of page 529.
529, chapter 32, verse 1.
Oh, it's the beginning. Very well. Yeah.
So how would you translate, Lisa, Vayarham ki boshesh Moshe l'redet min ha'ar? I mean, it's a strange word, but what does it mean in Hebrew?
When you're waiting for someone to come at home and he doesn't come, you start getting worried.
You use that word, boshesh?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound a little bit like busha, an embarrassment?
No, it's a different shoresh.
Different shoresh, okay. Thank you. I was always curious about this word because I don't find it anyplace else. So Moses is late in coming down from the mountain, and the people gathered on top of 530 against Aaron and said, "Come, make us a god who shall go before us. For that man Moses who brought us out from the land of Egypt, we don't know what happened to him." How do you go, question number 1 in the handout, from hearing on Mount Sinai, don't make a sculptured image, how do they go from this to the golden calf?
I can see this very easy. When they left Egypt, they're still in a way in Egypt. They're only so few weeks that they're out from Egypt. You already didn't rip them to pieces. It's true that they were shocked from the noise of the mountain, and all this. But this doesn't mean that God already got into them.
So part of it is the slave mentality. All right.
Also, to this point, anything that miraculously has happened, Moshe has been there to explain, this is what's going on, and just follow. And now suddenly Moshe is gone.
Everything was given to them. But they had Aaron. Aaron was really the person that they loved more than Moses. Because Aaron did for them and wanted to help them. But Aaron was there with them. That's the reason he was with them. He gave hand to them.
Completely.
So Pinchas Peli writes about sort of mass hysteria, mass psychology, in a sense. If you see somebody else doing something, you follow the crowd. Martin Buber called this a type of deep panic. Oh my God, what if Moses doesn't ever come back? He's probably said he'll be back in 40 days. He's not back. God took him up to heaven with him, and now we've got nothing. We have that next line. In Egypt, they saw people worshiping animals, in a sense. Here we have nothing. We have nothing in the desert. Even though Yehuda Halevi said that they saw carvings above the ark, so maybe they're not. Even though God said don't make a graven image of a god, there are sculptured images in the Mishkan, in the portable temple that they carried with them throughout the desert. So Yehuda Halevi does not see the cherubim above the ark as completely knocking out the possibility that something carved is allowed. You know that in Christianity, the symbols are all over the place. You can have a guy with bleeding on a cross. In the Muslim world, any of these graven images are completely not allowed. And in Judaism, we have almost closer to that Muslim ideal because we have very few of these things except in the ancient temple. But they saw the Mishkan, they saw this temple, and they saw these carvings.
Yeah, but why the calf?
Why a calf?
Yeah, why did they do the calf? Why they didn't take any other animal?
Do you have a theory?
I know there is a big question about this,
but in Egypt they worshipped. In Egypt they worshipped the calf, in a sense. It's it's yeah.
Well, they used a calf's blood to cover their doors for one of the plagues.
Okay,
That was a lamb.
but
Good guess.
but that's the blood. I mean, it's still, you know, there is a story that that Aaron gathers the gold from the people, and he figures it's going to take them days for the women to give up their gold. And the women get more credit for this than anybody else because they didn't give up their gold. They said, "What are you crazy? You know, you know, whatever. This is my anniversary gift." Unfortunately, it's the men who actually had earrings, and they gave up their gold. How's that? So he hoped to delay, and yet the men came forward with a lot of gold. Aaron throws this on, you know, into some sort of a mold or whatever, and you know, and basically he thought it would take a long time, and very quickly the golden calf was formed. So there's no, you know, did it get speeded up as a way of testing the people? So what are your thoughts? Psalm 106 is very harsh. It says that they were disloyal to the God who freed them from bondage. So all these explanations above it are ways of understanding it, but Psalm 106 says, no, they're disloyal to God who freed them from bondage. So how do you feel about this? About the fact that they made a golden calf a few weeks after hearing from God not to make anything graven.
Coming back to your question before of why a calf, every spring in Egypt, Pharaoh had sacred bulls, and the sacred year was always based on the bulls, and the number of years that a pharaoh reigned was counted in these bulls. And every spring there was to be a new heifer that was born. So it's like a baby god. So if we're going to go back to Egypt, we're going to go carrying
The baby god.
the baby god, a god of theirs, and throwing off God, which then plays into Psalm 106 of disloyalty to God by doing this. So it's like we're throwing off God, we're forgetting all that we've seen and heard and that's been done for us, and we're going to go back with an Egyptian God. And again, it comes back to that slave
So
mentality.
it relates to what I said before, the
Yeah.
slavery that
Yeah.
still
Totally.
comes out of
Slaves.
them.
So if you go to page 530, which you should be close to anyway, under the line, it says chapter 32, the people could not comprehend a God without physical form, and to go back further in the paragraph, it says the people need a visible, tangible symbol of God's presence. They had just come from Egypt where everything, even death, was rendered visible. It was extremely hard for them to grasp the idea that the greatest reality of all is intangible. So this is the explanation in a sense. And how do we feel about Aaron? Question number 2. What role did Aaron play in the golden calf? Could he intervene and stop them? Did he demonstrate weak or clever leadership? In a sense, he thought he was being clever because he threw in some delaying tactics, but he did not confront them. He did not say, "What are you guys doing? What do you want? You want to violate this the beginning of the Ten Commandments?" You know.
Well, it says that the people gathered against Aaron, and and said, "Come, let us make a god," etc. So if all the people, or the huge majority of the people, are against him, probably they would have killed him if he tried to stop them.
Standing there away.
So So instead, he tried to slow them down, hoping Moses would come.
So, Adin Steinsaltz, a commentator that's still alive, said that Aaron is Ohev Shalom, Verodev Shalom. He's a lover of peace, a pursuer of peace. So he always was, tried to do a great compromiser. The story is told that if two people are fighting, or husband and wife are fighting, he'd find one person, he'd say, the person that you're having an argument with is walking towards, towards the middle of the town to meet you and to apologize. You've got to go and meet that other person. And he would have talked to the other person and said, this other person that you're arguing with is coming to the middle of town to apologize to you. So of course they come, they meet in the middle of the town, and they hug and they kiss and they make up. So these are the kinds of stories that we talk about Aaron, which is great if you're trying to promote peace. But what are you doing in the middle? How are you dealing with this in the middle of a great crisis? Is that good crisis management? You can't say sweet things to people at a time that they're close to rebelling, in a sense. So it's important to understand that Aaron did not have. Remember, Aaron's a little older than Moses. They're supposed to be in their 80s at this point in their life. You add the 40 years in the desert, and you get to the age of 120. So they're a bit elderly in the first place. So how much gumption do they have at that particular point? Nechama Leibowitz, who's was 20th century commentator, said, we're all capable of acting nobly at one moment and ugly at the next. Each day is filled with new choices. That's a little bit like the Pirkei Avot that we talked before, that each day is a new chance. So we blame Aaron partially for this. So there's a commentator that says, when Moses asked Aaron why he allowed the people to create an idol, he protested. He said he never intended to fashion a golden calf. It's a tragic accident. He simply threw the gold into the fire to be melted down, and there, out of that came the golden calf. He did not see the consequences of his acquiescence of the demands of a rebellious people. It's almost to say that God helps form this golden calf. Aaron just threw the gold into the fire, but God almost pushed the end towards him to say, this is the consequence of your acquiescence. All right. In the time that we have left, I'm going to do just number 4. So, Moses destroys the tablets, and it's very tense because God says, I want to destroy the people. I could start again. I'll start again with your family, Moses. I'll just wipe them all out. And Moses says, no, we can't do that. Word will get out. It's a shanda for the goyim. What?
I didn't think that after the flood, he said you will never do it again.
I'm sorry.
I said after the flood, God said he will never do it again. He will never destroy the people again.
But he said, I won't wipe out the whole earth.
Yeah.
But just the people of Israel would not be a violation of that particular promise. Now God's angry, and what does Moses do? He does the greatest.
He doesn't turn around.
He does the greatest arguing that any lawyer, not even Marquis Salomon, would do as well to convince God. He convinces God that it would look bad. People would say, you know what? Look what happens to the people that follow you. They end up dead, and having to start all again with Moses. And so God says, okay, all right, I'll buy your argument. And the concept is that the first tablets were formed by God and written on by God. It basically, symbolically, is a way of saying that the standard is so high, it's all so godly, how can we, as mortals, again, back to our Pirkei Avot sentence there, how can we as mortals aspire to be that good? So, if you go to where our Torah reading was today, on page 540, you look below the line, this is chapter 34. The first set of tablets was fashioned by God alone. Moses passively received them. The second set will be a joint divine and human effort. So it was that God says to Moses, you carve the luchot, the tablets, and I will write on them. It's a human plus God creation here. And the symbolism to the people is that it has to be this partnership between God and the people of Israel. So not only does God say, okay, we'll make up, we'll start this again, but he says to them that whenever the people of Israel are in trouble, they should say, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum, Benanu. But what is that? It says God is compassionate. God is compassionate. So anytime God wants to wipe out the people of Israel, they use this line when the spies go into Israel and people into Canaan, and they say we'll never be able to overcome the people of the land of Canaan. And God also is very upset with the people of Israel and sentences them to never, anybody that was a slave in Egypt has to die out in the desert before I can bring the people into the land to fight for the land of Israel. So God's very harsh at that point, but God, how does he keep from wiping out the people of Israel who show a lack of faith? They use the same line, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum L'chanan. That's why we say it during Yom Kippur. This is why it's important, and we also do it on Slichot night, right before a Shabbat, right before Rosh Hashanah. So this is our get out of jail free card. It's not that you can do terrible things and God will always forgive you, but if there's any argument to be made for why you were human and weak, we remind God of that. So that's what it says on the card. All right, the other questions 3 and 5 are for you to think about. Sorry?
The two tablets were together. The broken tablet was held together with the new tablet. They weren't thrown the broken tablet.
Okay. So let's just read that second, that chapter 34 below the line, page 540. Heschel taught that God revealed the Torah to Moses in all its fullness, and Moses, a finite human being, wrote down whatever he could comprehend. The Talmud tells us that the fragments of the first set of tablets were carried in the ark, along with their replacement set, Babylonian Talmud, Barachot, page 8b. That which was once holy retains its holiness, even when it's broken. So too the elderly, the senile, the infirm may not be cast aside. They must be accorded the reverence that they have earned in their lives. I like that very much. All right.
And this is from a man who had a speech impediment.
Yeah.
Exactly. He must have had some voice at 120.
page 182. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Koshienu. I'm just going to toss these pages, so if you want to take them home and do more thinking. Keep it. Keloheinu, Koshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shetiru, Avoseinu, Levai. If you're able to, we rise on 183. Zichronam Livracha. May the memories be for a blessing. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 184. Yitkadal, Yitkash, Shemerah, Yom HaDurah, Hushay, Yom Lichma, Hushay, Chayei, Yom Echon, Vayei, B'chol Yisrael, V'Adolam, V'Zman, V'Midim, V'Omein, Yeshmei, Rabban, V'Rach, V'Yolam, V'Omein, Yisrael, Yisrael, V'Yikorar, V'Yishroman, V'Yitnasei, V'Yitahar, V'Yisrael, V'Yitahal, Shemei, V'Kushal, V'Yitahal, 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 V'Yitahal,
who's here and to everyone who's watching from home. We wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat. The very first thing is that this door, the one that's opposite the chapel, the one that opens onto Maple Street, is at this moment is permanently locked. So do not try to open it. It is under repair. Ken is in the middle of repairing it. It should be repaired by Sunday or Monday. But for right now, don't leave the chapel here like some of you do and make sure the door is locked. Just leave it. It is locked, and he's in the middle of repairing it. So we really are very grateful. Thank you. Okay, we've got a nice month coming up. On this coming Friday, the 7th, is Shabbat Across America, which is going to be at Radvi Shalom, and we are trying to, this year, to have a real presence from Sons of Zion at that Shabbat. Just let Laura know that you want to make a reservation. And,
John,
yes.
Question about that. I had asked Laura, do we pay Sons of Zion?
No, we pay Radvi, but she can take the check,
okay.
Or you can get it to send it to Radvi. Either way,
okay.
It's on the flyer. But you can give her a check that's made out to Radvi.
Okay.
And Friday the 9th.
Yes, I did say that. I'm sorry. Friday the 9th. It's Friday the 9th. I have 7 in my head. Because 7 is the board meeting. So Wednesday night is the board meeting, and that's the 7th. And Friday the 16th is the next Challah Chabura Bake-Off. So that's at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if you are interested, please let Cindy know. She needs to know that you're coming so she has enough flour. And other things. So if you want to bake challah, it's Friday the 16th at 9 in the morning. Saturday the 17th is when we are celebrating our 114th anniversary, which actually takes place on Sunday, but we're celebrating on Saturday at the Kiddush. This is also a very fun Kiddush because we have a banner that we hang out on the top here, welcoming the runners for the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
The door better be fixed by then.
It will be.
The door will be fixed by tomorrow.
So come to the Kiddush to celebrate our anniversary, and come to the Kiddush to help cheer on all the people you know, whether you really know them or not, that are running in the parade. And if you want to do a Mali, you can jump in on Cabot, run a half a block, and jump out. So join them for a moment. But that's on the 17th.
The race starts at 1, so I'm hoping that
It'll be the end of around the end of
right
Kiddush. Yeah, we have people watching, hopefully.
Yeah, I want to be like right out there at 1.
We don't lose.
We have.
The following Shabbat is March 24th, and that is Shabbat Gadol on more than one level. It's Shabbat Gadol is traditionally the Shabbat right before the Pesach, right before the first Seder, and that is going to be on the 24th. But this year in our synagogue, it's Gadol more than once. It's Gadol because Bonnie is celebrating her birthday and her bat mitzvah. A repeat of her bat mitzvah. And it's Gadol because we are all celebrating with Maggie, Ken, and Brielle, who by that day will have completed conversion.
Yeah.
And at least 2 of them will be counted in the minyan.
That's very exciting.
Okay, and okay. Then we move into we're moving into Pesach, but we're actually before that. So please, everyone, we think Seder together. That's our big thought for the month of March. If you can be a host to if you have room at your table and you can host someone at your table, please let Laura know. Either if you